Hola a todos. Hello everyone. Today we're having a lesson and doing lots of practice with direct object pronouns in Spanish, or los pronombres de objeto directo. And while we practice, we're also going to be learning vocabulary for your house, the rooms of your house, and some furniture. La casa y los muebles, the house and furniture. Now, before we get into this grammar lesson in Spanish, let's quickly review what we already know from English. Sometimes it's helpful to do a quick comparison and then build on what we already know. So, what is a direct object? Well, let's look at this sentence. I ate an apple today. What did I eat? I ate an apple. So apple is the direct object, or we could think of it as it directly receives the action of the verb ate. And it can help us find what the direct object is by asking what or who. What or who receives the action of the verb. I ate an apple today. Okay, so apple is the direct object, and we know apple is a noun. So what is a direct object pronoun? Well, pronouns can take the place of nouns, right? And so a direct object pronoun would replace the direct object noun. And what's the point? Well, let's see. I could say, I ate an apple today. The apple was delicious, right? And then I'd have to repeat apple, apple, but that's a little repetitive. So we have our handy direct object pronoun, it, that is replacing the direct object noun, apple. So instead of saying, I ate an apple today, my friend gave me the apple at lunch, the apple was delicious, apple, 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 I can use the direct object pronoun, and it just makes things more efficient. Let's see another example. I ate some grapes today. I ate some grapes today. My friend gave them to me at lunch. Okay, so here when we replace grapes, the direct object, with the direct object pronoun, we're using them instead of it. Any ideas why? Well, apple is singular, right? Just one apple, so we say it, but grapes are plural, more than one grape, right? So we use them. That's the direct object pronoun that we use to talk about plural things. So that was a quick review in English. Now we're going to do the same thing, learn how to do this in Spanish. So what you see on this chart here are all of the different possible direct object pronouns you could use in Spanish. Me, me in English, nos, us, te goes with you, os is kind of like y'all, but just in Spain, it's that one that goes with vosotros. And then we have lo and la that would correspond to it, and los and las that would correspond to them. So we'll go over these with lots of examples. So we know pronouns replace nouns, help us avoid repetition. And how do we know which one of these to use? Well, the pronoun we use must match the noun it's replacing in grammatical gender, masculine or feminine in Spanish, and also number, singular or plural. So this will all make a lot more sense with examples. So let's look at an example. Let's say that Ana and Paco are moving to a new house. And Ana asks, do you have the table? ¿Tienes la mesa? Paco responde, sí, tengo la mesa. ¿Tienes la mesa? Do you have the table? Sí, tengo la mesa. Yes, I have the table. Okay, that's fine, but kind of repetitive, right? So, instead of repeating la mesa, we have another option. We could replace la mesa, the direct object. What do you have? You have la mesa, the table. We could replace it with the direct object pronoun. So which of these direct object pronouns are we going to use? Well, it has to match la mesa. La mesa is singular and it has the feminine gender. So we're going to use la. ¿Tienes la mesa? Sí, la tengo. That's like saying, yes, I have it. And we use la because it matches with la mesa. So la is what we'll use for replacing any noun, direct object noun that's singular feminine. And also, you might notice, where do we put the direct object pronoun? We put it before the verb. Sí, la tengo. Interesante. Vamos a ver más ejemplos. We're going to see more examples. ¿Tienes las sillas? ¿Tienes las sillas? Sí. Las tengo. Sí, las tengo. Do you have the chairs? Yes, I have them. Las is the direct object pronoun that we'll use to replace las sillas, the chairs, because that's feminine plural. ¿Tienes los cuadros? ¿Tienes los cuadros? Do you have the pictures or the paintings? Sí, los tengo. ¿Tienes los cuadros? Sí, los tengo. Yes, I have them. And we use los because los cuadros is masculine plural. Los. ¿Tienes el refrigerador? ¿Tienes el refrigerador? Sí, lo tengo. Lo tengo. I have it. Lo es el pronombre de objeto directo. Lo is masculine singular, just like el refrigerador. Lo is replacing el refrigerador. Sí, lo tengo. I have it. Alright, now let's see. We can't really see Anna over here, so let's imagine she's asking Paco, can you see me? ¿Puedes? Can you ver? Can you see me? So, who can you see? Me. That's the direct object. So we would say me. ¿Me puedes ver? Can you see me? ¿Me puedes ver? Y Paco responde, no, I can't see you. So which one would we use to say you? I can't see you. No te veo. No te veo. I don't see you. No te veo. Una vez más, one more time. ¿Me puedes ver? No, no te veo. Bien. Now, here's something interesting. See how these two verbs, puedes ver, are working together as a verb phrase? Can you see? Puedes ver. Whenever we have two verbs working together as a verb phrase, we have an interesting option. One way we could say it is me puedes ver, but we could also put that me right on to the end. So another way to ask the same question would be ¿puedes verme? ¿Puedes verme? So all we've done here is we've here in the first example, me puedes ver, we have the direct object pronoun before the entire verb phrase. But here, we're saying essentially the same thing, but we've put our direct object pronoun at the end of the entire verb phrase. Puedes verme, and we stuck it right onto the end of ver, right? So right on to the end of that infinitive verb. That's your option. You've got two options when you have a verb phrase or more than one verb working together. Now here, what Paco says, no te veo, that's our only option. We can only put te before the verb. Why? Because it's only one verb. Okay, so we only have this option of putting it before or after only when we have two verbs working together as a verb phrase. ¿Me puedes ver? No, no te veo. O ¿puedes verme? It's basically saying the same thing. Let's look at another example that uses a verb phrase. ¿Dónde quieres poner el sofá? Where do you want to put the sofa? ¿Dónde quieres poner el sofá? Quieres poner, you want to put. These two verbs are working together as a verb phrase. And to reply, we could put our direct object pronoun lo before the entire verb phrase. Lo quiero poner en el salón. Lo quiero poner en el salón. I want to put it in the living room. But we have another option too, right? Our second option, segunda opción, is to put the direct object pronoun after the entire verb phrase. Quiero ponerlo en el salón. Quiero ponerlo en el salón. And this forms all one word. We just stick the pronoun right to the end of the verb. Quiero ponerlo en el salón. So we have two options and both are correct ways to answer this question. Bien, ahora vamos a practicar. Now let's practice. And we're going to practice by talking about la nueva casa de Patricia. La nueva casa de Patricia, or Patricia's new house. Patricia tiene una nueva casa. Patricia tiene una nueva casa. Patricia has a new house. Va a decorarla. Va a decorarla. She's going to decorate it. So la is talking about la casa. What is she going to decorate? The house. Okay, so that's what we're going to do for this practice activity. You'll help me by calling out which direct object pronoun should replace the nouns that you see. Okay? And as we do this activity, try your best to listen and think through it in Spanish. I'll put some key vocabulary translations up on the slides, but let's try reading through it all together in Spanish and really try thinking through this vocabulary and learning it in chunks en español. Vamos a ver. Patricia tiene 2 cuadros. Patricia tiene 2 cuadros. Los quiere colgar en las paredes del comedor. Los quiere colgar. Patricia tiene muchas plantas. Tiene muchas plantas. Las pone en la terraza. Tiene muchas plantas. Las pone en la terraza. Patricia tiene una mesita de noche. Tiene una mesita de noche. Va a ponerla en su dormitorio, al lado de la cama. Va a ponerla en su dormitorio, al lado de la cama. A Patricia le gusta leer. Tiene cientos de libros. Los pone en el despacho. Los pone en el despacho. Patricia quiere comprar cortinas nuevas. Quiere comprar cortinas nuevas. Quiere colgarlas en las ventanas. Quiere comprar cortinas nuevas y quiere colgarlas en las ventanas. Patricia tiene mucha ropa. Ella tiene mucha ropa. La pone en su armario grande. ¿Dónde pone toda la ropa? La pone en su armario grande. También tiene muchos zapatos. Patricia tiene muchos zapatos también. ¿Dónde pone los zapatos? Los pone en el armario. Los pone en el armario. Patricia tiene un sillón grande. Lo pone en el salón, enfrente de la lámpara. Tiene un sillón grande. Lo pone en el salón, enfrente de la lámpara. Ahora vamos a imaginar. We're going to imagine. Tú tienes una casa nueva también. You also have a new house. And I have some questions for you. ¿Dónde pones la cama? ¿Dónde pones la cama? There's a few ways you could answer this. One way would be la pongo en mi dormitorio. La pongo en mi dormitorio. ¿Dónde quieres la mesa grande? ¿Dónde quieres la mesa grande? Again, there's a few ways that we could answer this. One would be quiero ponerla en el comedor. Quiero ponerla en el comedor. I want to put it in the dining room. Now pause the video and write some answers to the remaining questions. And then we'll go through and go through some possible answers. But we know that there are definitely more than one way that you could answer each of these questions. Okay, pause the video, write, and I'll see you in a few moments. Bueno, vamos a ver. Let's see. Some ways you might have answered these questions. ¿Dónde pones el sofá? Lo pongo en el salón. El sofá lo pongo en el salón. ¿Dónde quieres la mesita de noche? ¿Dónde quieres la mesita de noche? La quiero en mi dormitorio. La quiero en mi dormitorio. ¿Dónde pones los libros? Los pongo en el despacho. Los pongo en el despacho. ¿Dónde quieres colgar los cuadros? ¿Dónde quieres colgar los cuadros? Where do you want to hang the paintings? Los quiero colgar en el comedor. Los quiero colgar en el comedor. I want to hang them in the dining room. Los quiero colgar en el comedor. ¿Dónde pones la ropa? ¿Dónde pones la ropa? La pongo en mi armario. La pongo en mi armario. I put it in my closet. La pongo en mi armario. Gracias y buen trabajo. Thank you and good work. Let me know if you have any questions or would like to practice more. Hasta luego.